Aboruboya Boshishe. Today we're going to explore a question that has been asked by seekers, scholars, and spiritual practitioners for centuries. A question that opened doors to understanding one of humanity's oldest and most profound systems of wisdom. What is Ifa? This is not a simple question, and I don't intend to give you a simple answer. What I want to offer you today is clarity, an understanding that comes from respect, from study, and from recognizing that Ifa represents something much deeper than what meets the eyes. Whether you're new to this path, curious about Yoruba spirituality, or you've been walking this road for some time, my hope is that by the end of this video, you'll see Ifa with fresh eyes and perhaps understand what it has guided millions of people across continents and through time. Ifa is not something static. It is not just about book of knowledge sitting on a shelf. It is an active force, constantly attracting, constantly pulling toward balance and harmony. There's a Yoruba proverb that says, "Kosion tifa o fatong," meaning there is nothing that Ifa has not attracted to itself. So, what is Ifa attracting? What is pulling together? The answer is this: Ifa is attracting harmony and balance into creation. It is the enlightenment of Olódùmarè, the grand architect of the universe, made accessible to humanity. Now, I want you to be clear about something important. Olódùmarè is not the property of one people or one culture. This is the source of all creation, known by many names across the world. The Yoruba people simply have their own way of understanding and relating to this infinite intelligence, and they call it Olódùmarè. Ifa is the voice of Olódùmarè, but it's not just voice. It's the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding of the Creator made manifest. When these three virtues combine, we get what we call enlightenment. And Ifa is the system, the pathway through which we can access this enlightenment for the benefit of all living beings. Now, here's something that many people misunderstand about Ifa, and it's important that we address it. Ifa is not frozen in time. It is not dead. It's not a dead tradition locked in the past. The conscious Yoruba ancestors, under the inspiration of Ella, the divinity of enlightenment, coded the wisdom of Olódùmarè into what we know today as Ifa. They created an indigenous system of knowledge that is expressed through their language, their poetry, their songs, and their rituals. But this system is alive, it's breathing, it's still evolving. Ifa exists not just among the Yoruba people. This energy of enlightenment can be found across different cultures and tribes throughout the African continent and even beyond. It is known by different names: Afa among the Igbo and Ewe people, Iha among the Edo Bini, and Fa among the Fon of the Republic of Benin. The name changes, but the essence remains. It is an enlightenment system that belongs to humanity, not just one group alone. The message of Ifa are encoded or coded into 256 energy patterns, which we call Odu. Within these 256 Odu, you can find treasures of wisdom that span every aspect of human experience and beyond. But here's the key: these treasures remain sealed to those who cannot reunite with their spiritual self. To some who is not ready, Ifa might just look like a religious text or stories, but to some who is spiritually awake, Ifa reveals itself as an expression of universal laws, the very principles that govern existence itself. Think of Ifa as the Akashic records of the Yoruba people. It details all experiences in all their forms since the origin of creation. And this doesn't just mean human experiences. Ifa speaks to the animistic realm, to the unseen forces of nature, and to the very fabric of existence. We are beings that are always evolving, constantly transforming, whether we conscious or if or not. Ifa provides the guide for this transformative process. It helps us bring balance into our lives. Now, I want to share something with you that demonstrates the true nature of Ifa, its openness, its lack of dogma. It embraces truth wherever it might be or it might be found. Around the 11th century, three Babalaos, priests of Ifa, traveled to what is now Mali, a place the Yoruba call Ilu Imole, to learn about Islam. They studied the art of Islam practice and brought this knowledge back to Yoruba land. Let that sink in for a moment. We're talking about people from another culture. We have these traditional priests of an ancient African spiritual system traveling to other lands to study other religions and traditions. Then they're incorporating that wisdom into the body of Ifa. The example of this is what became today as some information about Odu Oturameji, in which Ifa speaks about uh, the travels of Orumila and priests to the world of Islam. And it's one of the 256 sacred patterns. It tells us something profound about the nature of Ifa. The enlightened Babalao of ancient times did not reject or shun other forms of spiritual systems. This was never part of the culture. They understood something that many people today have forgotten. Ifa is not about exclusion, it's not about declaring one path right and others wrong. It is, in fact, only Olódùmarè who knows what is truly good or bad. And we embrace all sincere seekers of truth. Good people are known only to the Creator. This is why I said Ifa is still evolving. The more conscious we become as a species, the more we attract enlightenment from wherever it comes. The source doesn't care about borders, it doesn't care about labels, it doesn't care about your background. Enlightenment is enlightenment whether it comes from Africa, Asia, Europe, the Americas, or anywhere else. What matters is the truth it contains and whether it brings balance, harmony, and understanding to your life. Ifa is not about religious division, it cares about wisdom, it cares about knowledge, it cares about understanding the nature of existence and helping all beings find their way. Many people, when they first hear about Ifa, think of it primarily as a divination system. And yes, divination is a central part of Ifa practice. Through the manipulation of sacred palm nuts called ikin, or through the casting of divination chain called okpele, a trained priest or priestess can access the wisdom of the Odu to provide guidance to whoever is doing consultation. But to reduce Ifa just to divination would be like calling the ocean just water. Technically, it is accurate, but missing the depth, the currents, the life within it. Ifa is a complete philosophy. It's a way of understanding the universe and our place within it. It speaks to ethics, to personal destiny, to our relationship with the divine, to our connection with nature and with each other. The Odu are not just formulas for reading fate, and Ifa is certainly not fortune telling. They are repositories of poetry, history, mythology, medicine, psychology, and spiritual wisdom. Each Odu contains verses, sometimes hundreds of them, and within these verses are stories, teachings, and insights that had guided people for hundreds of years. When someone consults Ifa through divination, they are connected with a vast body of knowledge that can illuminate their path, help them to understand their challenges, and show them how to bring their life into better alignment with their destiny. Ifa recognizes something that modern psychology is only now beginning to understand, that we all come into this life with a certain path, a certain purpose. The Yoruba call this Ori, our spiritual head, our destiny. Ori is also the word for your physical head. But destiny is not fixed, it's not written in stone. We have the power to shape our lives through our choices, our actions, our sacrifices, and we call this Ebo. At the heart of Ifa is Orumila, and here we need to understand something subtle but very important. In Yoruba tradition, Orumila is spoken of it in two ways. Number one, as a divine presence and as a historical teacher. Some traditions emphasize Orumila as a deity who descended from the spiritual realm to the ancient city of Ife. Others speak of Orumila as a great human sage who achieved such wisdom that he became immortalized in the tradition. Both these understandings can be true at the same time, and this is the beauty of Yoruba thought. It doesn't demand that you choose between the mystical and the historical aspect. They actually can coexist. What matters is this: Orumila represents wisdom itself. The name Orumila can be understood as heaven knows who will prosper, or only the divine knows who will be safe. It speaks to the mystery of existence, to the fact that ultimate knowledge belongs to Olódùmarè alone. The tradition tells us that Orunmila was present at the creation of the universe. He witnessed when each soul chose its destiny before entering early life. This is why Ifa through Orunmila can help us remember what we choose. It can help us to find our way back to our true path. Whether you understand Orunmila as a deity, as an ancestral teacher, or as a symbol of divine wisdom, the message remains the same. There is a source of knowledge greater than ourselves, and we can access it through humility, through study, through ritual, through sincere spiritual practice, and through initiation. The priests and priestess of Ifa today are the Babalaos and Iyanifas, see themselves as part of an unbroken lineage that traces back to Orunmila. They are the carriers of this wisdom trained to interpret the Odu and to guide others on their spiritual path. So, where does this leave us today? Well, I would like to say this: Ifa is not a museum piece. It is not something that only exists in dusty books or in distant villages. Ifa is alive and thriving all over the world, from Nigeria to Brazil, from Cuba to the United States, from the Caribbean to Europe. Millions of people are little by little enjoying and benefiting from the practice of Ifa or traditions that directly were influenced by it. The enslaved Africans who were brought to the Americas carry Ifa in their hearts and mind, and it survived, transformed but unbroken into traditions like Santeria, Candomblé in today's diaspora. This survival, this persistence, tell us something important. Ifa endures because it speaks to something universal in the human experience. It addresses questions that every person asks: who am I? Why am I here? How should I live? What happens after death? How can I find peace, prosperity, and purpose? The beauty of Ifa is that it doesn't pretend to have easy answers. It offers wisdom, guidance, and a framework of understanding, but it respects your intelligence. It respects your ability to think, to question, and to seek. If you're watching this video because you're curious about Ifa or because you are in a spiritual search, I want you to know this. Ifa welcomes sincere seekers. It doesn't matter where you come from or what you believed before. What matters is that you approach with respect, with humility, and with a genuine desire to learn and to grow. Ifa is not about conversion, it's not about abandoning who you are, it's about becoming more fully yourself by understanding the deeper truths of existence. IFA certainly is a system that can improve your life in many, many different ways. So let me return to where we started. What is Ifa? Ifa is the voice of the divine made accessible through human wisdom. It is the word of Olódùmarè. It is enlightenment coded into poetry and ritual. It is a living tradition that has guided humanity for hundreds of years and continues to evolve and adapt today. It is both simple and infinitely complex. It is both ancient and completely relevant to modern life. It is both deeply African and universally human. But more than anything else, Ifa is an invitation to look deeper, to think more carefully, to live more consciously, an invitation to align yourself with the forces of balance and harmony that govern the universe. Mm. You don't have to become a priest or a priestess of Ifa to benefit from his wisdom. You don't have to completely adopt Yoruba spirituality, but you can learn from it. You can allow its insights to deepen your own spiritual practice, whatever that might be. The question, what is Ifa, is one that people will continue to ask for generations to come, and each generation will find new layers of meaning, new applications, new understandings. That's how living tradition works. They really grow with us. So, my hope for you is that this video has given you some sort of clarity, not necessarily complete understanding, that will probably take a lifetime, but enough clarity to see that Ifa, for what it truly is, it's a profound system of wisdom that respects the intelligence of its students and offers a path toward greater understanding, greater harmony, and greater peace. If this resonated with you, I encourage you to continue learning, to read works of scholars like Wande Abimbola, seek out authentic teachers and mentors if you feel called to go deeper, but most importantly, approach with respect, with patience, and definitely with an open heart. The wisdom of Ifa didn't survive hundreds of years because it was forced on people. It survived because it works, because it transforms lives, because it offers something real in a world hungry for genuine spiritual nourishment. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being a seeker of wisdom. May your path be clear, may your steps be guided, and may you find the balance that you seek in your life. Oboato Ashure Iwori Wofun. My Odu Iwori Wofun bring you blessings of long life and prosperity. My name is Ray Ifakolekping. Thank you so much. See you later.